Hi everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. So I've just been fluffing around in my creative space today. I've just got not a lot of inspiration at all. I think I'm just overtired and I can't get my brain to work. And I found my gilding polish, my gold treasure gilding polish. And you can see I enjoy using it because it's nearly all gone, but it's dried up a little bit. So I just thought, oh, I'll just see whether it's worth trying to revive or whether I should throw it out. And then I thought, oh, I may as well just turn on the camera and have a bit of a play with it. So all I've done is I've just grabbed a lump of it out, and that's what it is. It's a lump. It's a big lump, and put it on this coaster, and I've just refreshed it with some water. And I don't know, and I'm just using it on a ink applicator, and it seems to be working okay. So I grabbed some card bases. I've got some craft cardstock and some black cardstock. Don't know whether it's going to be exciting. Don't know whether it's going to work out, but we'll just do it anyway and hope for the best. So I'm just going to use my good old Big Shot here that's falling apart. Got all its bits and pieces, and what I'll do is I'm just going to go, and I've got some of these Tim Holtz texture dies, what do you call these? Embossing folders. Oh my goodness. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly run through some cardstock on these different ones, and then we'll come back and we'll have a try of the gold polish. So I've run them all through the Big Shot. Some embossed better than others. I always get the sandwich that I'm supposed to use in my machine, and I get it all mixed up, and I don't know, they don't emboss. I just don't take the time, which I should take the time to actually think about it and write it down. So some have embossed better than others, but that's okay. We're just having a play. So once again, I'm just going to spray this and just refresh it a bit. And basically, I'm just going to use the ink applicator to just rub over the top of the embossed area. So I'm just dabbing off my excess. So I don't know that this one's going to work out that well because it's not embossed so much down this end, but I'm just going to, it might be a little bit too wet, but I'm just going to lightly rub over. Yeah, I think I've got too much on my applicator, but that's okay. We'll run with it and we'll make it look like it's meant to be like that. So I don't know whether you can see that. It's because it hasn't embossed real 3D, it's grabbed onto some of the background of the card there. I'm not going to throw that out because it can definitely be used. I may even come back in and I might let that dry first and even ink with vintage photo or something. So I'm just going to speed the video up, and I'm going to apply some more of this gilding polish over these. This I think will turn out really nicely on the black, and because this one is more raised, so you can see it's just getting the raised edges, so it looks a little bit like so I'm getting a little bit heavy-handed there. The, what do you call that, the metal sheeting on the ceilings in an old house. So these pieces would be even good just to use as torn up pieces in your collage, tucking under a photo on a journaling card or something. Look at that, isn't that lovely? Beautiful. All right, so I'm just going to go and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll see if we if I've got any motivation or inspiration to make anything with them. So basically, I won't be throwing my gilding polish out just yet. So if you refresh it with water, it tends to work fine. Probably not as good as when it's fairly new and you're using it. Now this one, this one is a real mess because the embossing folder hasn't embossed the card as well as I'd like it to, and I got a little bit heavy-handed. I had a little bit too much gilding polish on the applicator, but great for tearing down and using in collages, I think. Yeah, so some of them I don't absolutely love, but I don't think that they're wasted pieces. Now this one here, this embossing folder, this 3D, is this it? Yeah, I don't know that I've got the packet for it. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. This 3D texture fade. 662716 from Tim Holtz Botanical it is. I think this would be my favorite. So I just love obviously the botanical images, but I think that they just come up really well. You can just see they've just sort of scraped the top because it's a really real deep embossing on there. So this one I don't mind. It's not too bad. This one again was a bit of a mess, but that one didn't emboss very well at all. So we've got some that are good for collage photo, I would say, which would be these. So I'm going to pop them to the side and I'll use them in my journals or journal with me videos. So you might see them popping up. But I'm just wondering maybe if we could make a couple of journaling cards using some of this or part of some of them. I'm going to once again reach for my Tim Holtz found relatives and snapshots. I'm just absolutely loving them, and his photo booth photos. So I'm just thinking I might utilize them and just maybe put one or two cards together. So I'm just going to have a bit of a play, and we'll just see where this takes us. It's a shame to cover it up, isn't it? I'm really torn now what I want to do with it. So I am going to tear this edge. And I'll probably keep that too, because look at that, that's pretty for a bit of collage. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Like I said, it's a real shame to cover up all that embossing, but I mean, I like how that's looking. I think I've got some craft cardstock here. I might just get a piece of this. that right on the edge. So something that I've started doing, which I used to do when I was in my scrapbooking days, I am actually starting to, I don't know, I call it gutting some of my cardstock and bits and pieces if I really enjoy or I like something and I don't want to waste it. So what I mean by that is, so that photo was going to sit right over the top of that, and then all this underneath would be wasted, and that's good collage fodder. And I've been doing that with these negatives that I've got as well. So if I'm using them and I've got bits left over, which I can't find them at the moment, I've been doing that as well, and I've been just cutting them out and putting the bits and pieces in a little container because it's something that I enjoy and I don't mind doing that. I mean, it's probably not necessary. It's not like I don't have enough product, but I just love the way that looks, and I just think that that's just a waste to be sitting underneath the photo. So that's just why I'm doing that. So I'm thinking that I might layer this onto this craft cardstock, and I'll probably I'm going to cut this just a little bit so that there's a little bit of that showing on this side as well, probably about there. So yeah, do any of you do that if you're layering something and then there's something that you particularly like, just to save that piece? Or am I just being very stingy? So this is what I'm thinking. Now, you know I like to distress things, so I'll end up distressing this card. And I'll probably... I'm just trying to have a think about this, what I want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to distress this photo as well. I'm going to sew, because I'm not going to back this card, I don't think, because it'll be sturdy enough as it is, and there'll be enough room for journaling space. I think I'm going to sew the craft piece first. I'm not going to sew onto the embossed piece, and I'm going to sew the photo. So what I might do is I might choose another couple of photos that I'd like to use. I'm really liking the black on the craft, but I might even try and do it the other way around. So these three gentlemen, we might do on the black embossed and then onto, no. I'm just trying to think. On the craft embossed and then onto the black card. If that's the case, I'll probably back the black card with coffee dyed paper. Anyway, I'm going to go off and I'm going to sew around a few photos and a few card bases, and then I'll come back and we'll put some together. So I've sewn around those. Once again, my machine decided to play up. So I've got stops and starts, but I'm going to leave all that hanging anyway because it will just add to the character of the cards. And then I'm going to distress and ink these as well. So if I can find my distress tool. So on this one, because it's a wedding photo, I'm going to use a little bit of that gold gilding paste and ink, I think. And I'm just being really rough with this. Okay. So I'll do the photo. You can't see a lot of the stitching on this photo because it's so dark. It's okay. And I'm being really rough. Now I need to refresh that little bit of gold there. And I'm just going to come in on the photo a bit, I think. it's actually working. It is a little bit, it's picking it up a little bit on the edge. You can see it there. So I'm just going to add it just randomly around the photo, not thinking too much about where I'm adding it. Just so it comes in on the edge there a bit. Okay, there's stuff going everywhere. So that's basically what that's going to look like. I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to glue this bit down because I'll do a little bit of layering and I'll tuck underneath the photo to do that. So just glue this down in place so that it's not running around everywhere or across the desk. Yep. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'll just ink this one up. I'm just really rough with my inking, and I just like to bring it into the photo just to give it a bit more of an aged look. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to glue this to the card. Okay. Just going to add a little bit of ink onto the back of this. So I've backed that so that it could be written on. If you had a white pen, you could have written on the black, but I just decided to do a backing, a light backing on it. Right, so now I just need to figure out how I'm going to decorate them. So I think this one here, I'm going to do some flowers and a bit of lace because it's a wedding photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and go away and grab some different embellishments to go on here on both of these, and then we'll decorate and layer, and we've got a couple of lovely embossed journaling cards. So I'll be back. All right, I don't know what I've grabbed. I've got bits and pieces of all sorts. Okay, so I've got these lovely wooden clocks from Uniquely Creative in my shop. You can find the shop at www.paperinspirations.com.au. I'll put the link down below for you. And they're from the Blossom and Bloom range, their newest range, and they're really beautiful. So I'm thinking I might like to use one of those. And I've got some of their gold bling, maybe I'll use some of that. So that's what I'm thinking with that, along with maybe a bit of lace or doily, or this is just all my little bits of lace tidbits and that sort of thing. That may even be quite nice, and then putting the clock over top of that. So that's what I was thinking with that. And then for the gentleman, I just thought maybe some baker's twine. And so we could even do a little bit of red, bring in a bit of colour maybe. That might be nice, bit of red. So in the latest mystery box, we've got some clocks. I don't know why I'm heading towards clocks, but that one might even be nice. Or that one. All right, we'll grab a couple of those and we'll have a play. So I've got this piece here that I cut off or tore off the edge, and I'm just wondering whether to utilize that on the bottom of the photo, which I think I might actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue that onto the photo, I think. Just gluing that on there. I think I like this one with a little bit of red in it, and I'm just going to cut the white away though. I don't mind that, so I'm going to cut that in half, and I can use the other half on something else. Do I want this to go around the whole card or just onto the photo? I think I like it around the whole card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out where I want this clock put. It's probably about there. It is a sticker, but I'll probably add a little bit of extra glue. And I'm going to glue the photo down. It's not going to be much layering on that one. It's a shame to cover that up, isn't it? Anyway, I didn't look at that. I'll just glue this in place. That'll do. And then I'm just going to cut a length of this baker's twine. And because I love putting in the negatives, I've got a piece here. So this is what I was talking about before. I cut away pieces because I want to keep them and use them. I'm just thinking I might like to add a little bit of that in here as well, just as another layer. Yes, I'll do that before that actually dries. I'm just going to stick that in under there. Probably need to put that under something really heavy just because it's the underneath is textured, so it's struggling a bit to sort of grab on. So I'm just going to pop that one to the side, and then I'll just do a little bit of work on this one while we're waiting. So I'm thinking let's do something like that. I want to add a bit of ink to this. Maybe a little bit of gold, if there's any. same thing. I'm going to pop that aside. And just let that grab. And these fellows should be stuck now. They are. And I'm just going to wrap this around a few times. Do that. Just tuck that underneath there. And tie that off. Okay, I don't mind that. I'm thinking that I want to put a metal piece or something in the middle there though. Just thinking if I've got any cogs or something. Okay, I don't have many, but I just don't like how that's just a straight edge on the bottom there. So I'm just wondering whether to add a couple of cogs. Maybe 3 of those, and I'm going to attach those, I think, with Dimensional Magic. Okay, so I've just got that clamped just to hold them down in place for the moment, and then I'm just going to have a look at this. I'm not sure whether that's a little bit too heavy for that now that I've done that. I'm thinking I want to add something softer coming around here. I'm just going to cut this down. Add a little bit of, this is the gold that I'm using. And then I'll add a bit of the brushed corduroy as well. I don't know. I do like that clock. I'm going to put it down. It is a little bit clumpy, quite possibly, but I'm going to layer the lace over the top just to soften it a bit. Just try and put it fairly well in the center there. No, I don't think I like it. It's coming off. I think I'm just going to put that lace over the corner of the photo, just attach it with a little bit of glue. Just decided that that wooden clock was a little bit too clumpy, I think. Let's see if we can get this on here. I'm just going to stick that back on here because I'll definitely use them again. Just love them, but just not for this particular card. And I'm just going to put 3 little gold rhinestones. And I also think I want to add a film strip tab. Probably just up here. So just something like this. I'll probably end up sewing that. So I'm just going to fold that over. Got glue everywhere. So just find the Dimensional Magic or your Glossy Accents sticks the plastic down a little bit better, but I am going to sew it, so that will also be secured, but just to keep it in place until I sew it, I just like to add a little bit of Glossy Accents. Okay, so I'm going to quickly sew that. Yeah, I like that. And then I could hang a charm or something off there if I wanted to, but I think that it's very monochromatic in colour, but I just think it's just enough. Okay, so let's see that if this has stuck down. Okay, so they haven't stuck down properly. I'll have to go and reclamp those, but I'll just show you what we've done. So this one you can still journal on the back, and this one as well. I've just left the craft cardstock for that one. So this is the 3 gentlemen. I've just added a little bit of texture there with the metal. You didn't get to see a lot of that clock, but you can see something layered underneath there. So that's that one. And then this one of the wedding photo, which is really lovely. And I've just added a couple of different bits of lace, 3 of those little tiny little rhinestones there, and then just added a little film strip tab. So I'm quite happy with how they turned out. Okay, that's it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed those. So I've that wasn't too bad, going from no inspiration and doing a couple of backgrounds. As I said, these ones are really messy. Not absolutely loving them, but torn down and used in collage, they will be fine. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. Take care. Bye-bye.